Hello, fifth graders. Mrs. Tremblay here, and today is Monday, February 1st. The very first day of February, the first day of third quarter. It's an exciting day. So hopefully you have your bell work all done for Monday and you're just coming on here to check your work. All of your answers should match mine when I collect them. The first thing you had to do was order these numbers from least to greatest and write the orders of the letters on the line. This is kind of like what you're doing in your homework packet on the last page. So I thought we could review it today just to make sure everyone's on the right track. So when I ask you least to greatest, we're comparing values here. And we know when we're comparing the value of decimals, it's a lot easier if we're comparing the same place. So I noticed that this one goes all the way over to the thousandths place. So does this one, but this one doesn't. So I am gonna put those zeros in. Now here's a whole number. Remember that means there's a decimal point after the 9. It's still 9 ones, and I can put my 3 zeros. And so right now I know that this 9 is going to be last because the ones place is higher than all the rest. So I'm going to look at the rest of these, 8, 8, and 8. So now let's look at how many thousandths we have. So here I have 982, 491, and 50. 8 and 50 thousandths is going to be the lowest, so I'm going to write the letter C here, cross it off. All right, the next lowest in comparison would be the 491 thousandths. And then next, the 982 thousandths. And last is going to be D because that ones place is higher than all the rest. All right, same thing for number 2. I noticed that we have them going over to the thousandths place, so I'm going to make all mine go to the thousandths place. These all have 4s in the ones place, so I just need to look at my thousandths. And the lowest number of thousandths I see is 72, so C would be first. The next lowest would be 187 thousandths, so B. The next lowest would be 200 thousandths. And the highest value here would be D, same as the other one. All right, for number 3, I'm gonna put in some zeros so that they're all thousandths place. That makes it a lot easier for your comparisons. Those all have 7 in the ones place, so I'm gonna compare the thousandths place. Out of these, the lowest I see is 90, so it's A. And then up from the 90, I'm looking, and it looks like 645 thousandths would be next. Then 800 will be next. And 940 would be the highest. So you can look at the tenths place as well. There's 0, 8, 6, 9. So that 6 right there is higher than the 0. That's why it came second. All right, anyway. Complete the table by rounding to the specified place value. So I give you a number here, and I ask you to take that number and round it to the nearest whole number, or ones place, the nearest tenth, and the nearest hundredth. So we're going back to this number for each one of these. So first I've rounded to the nearest whole number, that's the ones place. The number next to the 7 is 6. So that means I'm gonna bump this up. It's closer to 18. Now, if I round to the nearest tenth, I'm looking at this 6, so I'm deciding is this closer to 17.6 or 17.7. The number next to the 6 is 4 or less, so it would stay 17.6. And to the nearest hundredth, I'm looking at this 4, so I'm asking myself, is it closer to 17.64 or 17.65? The number next to the hundredths place is definitely less than 5, so this is going to stay 17.64. Don't add any extra zeros. This is exactly what you should have. Right, the next one rounded to the nearest whole number, that's this place right here. The number next to the ones place is definitely 5 or more, so you should have a 1 there. Just 1, not 1.0, because we're stopping at the whole number. Next, I ask you to round to the nearest tenth. So this 9 is in the tenths place. The number next to the 9 is a 6. That means I need to bump this up. So right now, it's 9 tenths. If I bump this up, it would become 10 tenths. We have had a lot of conversations in class that if you have 10 tenths, like picture that as a fraction, 10 out of 10 is 1 whole, right? So I'm gonna write 1.0. This does bump up to 10, but it's 10 tenths. You do need to include that 0 because you should have a place in the tenths place when I ask you to round to the tenths. All right, now I'm looking at the hundredths. So that 6 is in the hundredths place, and the number next to the 6 is a 2. So that means this is gonna stay 0.96. Last one here, ones place, that's the 6, and the number next to the 6 is 4 or less, so it's going to stay a 6. For the nearest tenths place, the number next to the tenths place is a 7, that's 5 or more, so this is going to bump up to 6.5. And finally, to the nearest hundredth, that's this 7. The number next to the 7 is a 1. It's not 5 or more, so this is going to stay 6.47. All right, number 7, last one for today. In which number is the value of the 8 the greatest? So basically, we want to figure out which one has the 8 in the highest place value, okay? So I'm going to find the 8 in each of these. This is worth 8 ones, right? So I'm going to write an 8 under there. This 8 is in the tens place. Here's a decimal point, there's a ones, there's a tens, so that's worth 80. This 8 right next to the decimal point, that's worth 8, it's in the ones place. This 8 is in the hundreds place, which means it's worth 800. So which one of these is the value of the 8 the greatest? D. This 8 is worth 800. All right, good luck with the rest of your work. Thanks for watching.